Hi, my name is Eunice Castillo, and I chose the option one, which was talking about young adulthood, right? Um, and moving through the processes, right, of becoming an adult. And so I liked option one because I could relate to it. So I would like to say that I grew up a lot like Angela and in an environment where religion was extremely important, and it was more of an identity, and it was a tight knit group. And I married and had 3 children and found myself divorced and was thinking, what the heck? That's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to be like that because that's not how I was raised and how I uh, thought. And so I moved from a very dualistic thought process, wrong and right. It is my job to make sure my children are taken care of in my home, in my family, my husband. All those things are very important to me. And that is the only way it can be. It cannot be any other way. So imagine when I found myself a single parent, had to go get out in the workforce. I'd always had some type of employment, but now I am the sole right provider, sole employer. So then, maybe I shouldn't be judging all the other people who are out in the workforce and maybe their child is in daycare or is with a grandma or someone. And then I moved, to accepting that maybe things aren't always a certain way. I can hang with that. Okay. Um, and then later in life, like around 32, 33, I'm sorry, about 35 years old, I went back to school, went to college to begin working on my degree. And at the time, I was still pretty religious, but I had questions and things just didn't add up to me. And one of the things I was told by a pastor at my church when he found out I was going back to school is he said, be really careful. You know, they're going to try to shake your faith at school. And I was like, oh, well, you can't shake me. I'm pretty tough. I know what I believe. And I hit geology class. I love geology. I would be a geologist if I could do the math. Um, and there were questions that could not be answered within my belief system. And I had to make a choice whether or not to continue in that belief system because it was comfortable, because it's what my parents expected, my family expected, because my whole group of friends and acquaintances, my whole community was wrapped up in that. And it began a period of time where I deconstructed. I'm making this long story very short, but I went from being able to look at a very binary good bad frame of reference to, okay, maybe there are some things that may not quite fit into that, but they're not necessarily bad, to, oh my gosh, there's a lot of different ways to believe and to do things. And after that, I I'm here, and I understand and have a deep respect for other people's forms of thought. And if I have a question about it, I'll ask. But I definitely was able to come to a place where I understood that it's okay for someone to live the way they want, and it's okay for me to live the way I want, and we're all going to be okay. Bye.